It's good for having
Yeah.
talk later.
I call the meeting to order. All right, here we go. We'll go right down in order with, I'll make the motion for the approval of the January 21st, 2025 town board meeting minutes.
Second.
Roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
Did you cross the
Yeah.
January's? Okay. I'll make a motion for the approval of the January clerk's report.
Second.
Roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. There is no January supervisor's report. So I'll make a motion for the approval of the February audited bills.
Second.
Roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and then we have the junkyard, license for Lance Garage license. And do you have the? Alright, so, the request is to the renewal of the junkyard salvage yard license for the 2025-26 year. Last year, they purchased 67 vehicles and removed 58 from the property and shipped them for recycling. The tax map parcel numbers are tax map number, and I'll read them, but it's 074.01-1-16, comma, 063.03-1-3, comma, 063.03-1-118, comma, 063.03-1-19, and 063.03-1-4. So I'll make a motion to be approved for the renewal of those junkyard licenses.
Second.
Put that, who are you gonna put down?
I got her.
Okay. Roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I'll make a motion for the approval of Jamie Walker to the Recreation Committee for a term of 5 years.
I'll second it.
Roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Alright. And then I'll make a motion for the approval of the resolution adopting the Town of Maine social media and website policy.
Second.
Roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion for the approval of the resolution establishing membership on the Town of Maine Commission for Conservation of the Environment.
Second.
Roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
That was easy.
Mike, you still, you first.
I'm withdrawing my name.
Okay. Alright, Phil Childs.
That was a quick 5 minutes, wasn't it?
I thought it was a thing.
Okay. I usually start off by saying I've got a couple of things, and no chuckling on your part there. You're not laughing, right? I did send photos of ice rinks at Hickory's Park. Did most of you get that or none?
Yes.
And I had a problem sending out to a couple of the members, and I went onto the website, and this is a secondary item, and I'll get back to the ice skating rink in a second. But the website really needs updating. It doesn't list the board members, doesn't have their contact information on it. Sorry, guy. And actually, I think it only has Kara and Jim on there. So is there, I know you just approved a adoption of the resolution for the media and website policy, and it does state on it that you have a webmaster person that you appoint. Are they actually going back and checking things like that? That's an open question. I'll ask it to Jim.
Yeah, can we get together to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, the town needs to make a policy that, you know, every January after an election that, you know, someone reviews those and updates them as needed.
But could we get together to
Yeah,
do
whenever-
that?
do
Okay.
you wanna-
You're looking to Mike,
No,
you're not looking at me?
no, I'm looking at
Matt
Matt
White
behind you.
behind you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'll get with you after the meeting, Jim, and we'll,
The website.
Okay, sounds good, thank you. All right, well, thank
And
you.
there's other things in there that are not there, that hopefully you and Matt can figure out.
Yeah. Phil, if you wanna email those to me, I'll get with Jim and we'll get them up there.
Okay, who's that to? Me?
Yes.
Yeah, you send it to Matt.
That's not my job, that's his job.
Well, what do you think needs to be updated then? I mean, besides the board members?
Want me to jump in on that?
Thank you, Art. Did you?
Yeah,
Stop my clock for a few moments.
yeah, so there's, I'd like to see a lot of the forms that we use online. There's just a bunch of like all the planning board forms, zoning board forms, applications, fee schedules. I mean, our contact information needs to be on there, stuff for, like the rec committee. It'd be nice for the rec committee to put stuff that they're doing on the town's webpage, because they do things that I have no idea, because I'm not on Facebook. So it'd be nice to have that on there. But I know what you're saying, there's things that, you know, and I've actually talked to Matt a little bit about them. So I have no problem with jumping in a meeting with you and Matt, Jim, to go over some of those things. I'll have a list by then.
Okay, and the reason I don't wanna do it, that's not my job. According to what you set up, that's Matt's job, and I should not be involved in that personally.
It's really not Matt's job. I mean, the town supervisor is the administrator under the policy, and the town clerk is the secondary administrator. And so, I mean, these are decisions that should be made by
By them, not me.
them. I mean, certainly with your input and Matt's expertise and, you know, Art's input as well.
The reason I'm hesitant, and I spent months with Bob updating the last one, making sure everything was in it and stuff like that. And, you know, that's history, and I don't wanna be involved in another 3-month exercise and going over every webpage and stuff like that. And I feel very confident that Matt is qualified with Jim's leadership in that one, so thank you. Ice skating rink, any opinions or thoughts?
I have a meeting with them coming up. They're gonna contact me just to go down and take a look, and I think it's gonna be out of our league from the conversation with them, but I'm gonna at least meet with the guy down at the park. And
The one at Hickory's.
I don't know if it's one at Hickory's. It's the one that I've met coming, excuse me, coming into Kelly's too. For years, he's a local guy who installs the ice rinks, and so he's gonna meet me and check it out. So,
I emailed the SCORE people too. It was actually quite difficult to figure out who that group was. You know, when you on the note, it said SCORE. But I finally got somebody through the town of Owego, but they have not emailed me back. It took me almost 2 weeks to even figure out who the heck SCORE was.
So
but
work is in progress.
yeah,
I'd love to see it happen, but
Yeah, I
you
just-
know,
Okay,
probably our biggest part is gonna be the
insurance,
insurance.
of course. I'd like to mention a few items about the third website, Facebook site, excuse me. And I'm hoping that all of you have had a chance to look at the website that Carol apologizes, but she has a class she signed up for 3 months ago and she couldn't miss it, that type of thing. But starting in January, and I'm not asking for opinions, I just want to state the fact that we have, in 1 month, over 22,000 people have looked at that one page on it. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, it's called the Town of Maine, New York. It's a Facebook page. And I am absolutely amazed how much I didn't realize what's going on in the area and how many things are available to the people in the town. And since Carol and Mike's work on that, it's been fascinating to find out these things. And,
thank you very much.
oh, I guess my time is up.
Mike and Ellen Bashad.
Why don't we just go one at a, are you both gonna speak?
I thought it was the attendance sheet.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
well, I'll
Thanks,
just, and I didn't sign up, but I just have what I
Here.
would consider a quick question. What's going on with the IDA?
Right now, nothing. It's all on standstill. They're doing They're part of it.
Just
Yeah.
or just,
I wouldn't say nothing, the
Nothing.
IDA is, conducting their environmental analysis under seeker, and they're in the process of preparing a draft generic environmental impact statement.
And what are we doing?
So we don't have an active role in that process yet. When that draft GEIS comes out, we will review it and respond, yes.
Oh, I'm done.
Okay.
Quickest time ever, I suppose.
Bob Leonard.
I just got a question before I ask a couple of questions. Can you just, give an update of what exactly number 8 and 9 are and what they involve? I mean, I don't remember anything about hearing what was gonna be incorporated, so I'm kinda curious, you're adopting a resolution, but I'm not sure what it's about. And the other one is about the Commission on the Conservation, of the Environment. Can you just explain what those two items are?
All right, we'll start with the second one. The Conservation Commission is a commission that was established by the town of Maine back in, I think it was 1982. And it's been, dormant, I would say.
I was gonna say, cause we
Many
haven't talked
years.
about it.
Yeah.
We talked about the last couple
Oh,
meetings.
we have
Yeah,
talked about it.
We've actually talked about, we were gonna create a whole new, the intention was to get a whole new board thing, but when Bob came up with this, I'm like, why reinvent the wheel? This is actually worded much better than I could have.
Okay,
We
so
decided to go with something.
what does it do?
So the commission is set forth in local law, that's chapter 39 of the Town of Maine Code Book, you can take a look at that. The resolution tonight appointed members to that commission. Okay, so there's 5 members on the commission. Phil Childs was appointed to a 1-year term. Andrea Eichhorn was appointed to a 1-year term. Matt White was appointed to a 2-year term. Bill Bittner was appointed to a 2-year term. And Edward Kisak was appointed to a 2-year term. And the resolution also appoints Matt White as the chairman of the commission.
What?
And so this is it has filled the seats on the vacant commission, okay? And then the commission's authority and purview is set forth in chapter 39 of the town code. I don't wanna sit here and read the whole thing, but I can put into a copy. Okay,
It's actually on the town's website.
so, yeah.
And so is one
And then the social media resolution was a resolution adopting a social media policy, and that policy, it's a social media and website policy. And again, this is like a 4 or 5 page document, so I'm not gonna read the whole thing,
it's
but
on the website.
it designates the Town of Maine website as the only official Town of Maine website / social media. So it clarifies that that's our only official form of communication through that mode. And then it designates administrators and some rules for guidelines for content, that kind of thing. But again, yeah, take a look on the website. Should all be up there.
All right.
And I've got a copy here, you can make a copy before you leave if you want.
So Jim, I have a couple questions. You have not heard anything from the IDA
Nothing.
since, approximately when?
I haven't gotten anything, gosh, since.
Just
since
remember,
the secret stuff. Yeah, it's been, yeah. No contact, no communicate, I mean, I did get, like the Christmas card, and things like that, but nothing, no information.
well, I'm kind of curious, you made a promise to a number of residents, especially along the East Main corridor. She's not here tonight, she hasn't been here since you had a private meeting with her, that you were gonna do everything you could to prevent this. So I'm kind of curious why you haven't taken the time or the effort to get involved with being proactive and finding out what's going on. I mean, Bob Mack's telling everybody on the radio that he's meeting with the IDA on a regular basis and that they're now considering putting in residential housing on that project. So my question is, one, they would have to do a whole new seeker if they're gonna do residential and adding it to their paperwork. I'm kinda curious why you haven't reached out and find out what's going on, I mean, to keep up on the dates, because there's so much happening that I can find out at the Town of Union when I go to meetings that it seems like nothing's happening here.
That's
You-
because we're not gonna let anything happen here, the Town of Union wants it.
That's not the question, or that's not what I'm presenting to you. I mean, I'm just, I'm dumbfounded because there's, you know, stuff going on and I hate to say it, I know more about what's going on than you guys do. Anyway, that's for another meeting, I guess. I'm just really disappointed. There's a lot going on and a lot of people are still concerned. A lot of people, especially on my side of the hill, on the airport road side. And it just feels like we're stuck in the mud. I mean, I would be asking when the seeker is gonna be finished. I would be asking questions from DEC. I don't know, Jim, what's going on? I mean, you have the communication. Okay, I'm out of time. Thank you.
All right.
Can-
Let's see,
can-
on to reports.
Can I,
Yes,
I know I removed myself, but Mr. Utter brought something up and I have a question, so can I have half of the 5 minutes?
It's 2
it's
minutes.
3 minutes, but.
3 minutes or
Yeah.
whatever it is? So going to the main commission and those appointments, how were those made? I've had an email sitting in a board member's inbox for 10 weeks asking about being part of that or being considered. No response for 10 weeks, 4 follow-up emails. And and now there's an announcement about appointments. So I'm kind of curious as to how that process happened. There certainly wasn't any announcement on the town's website saying we are looking for appointees for this commission. So I'd like some transparency on how these committees are selected. I'm also curious as to why it takes 10 weeks to get a response, whether it's, I don't have any information, there's nothing new, I can't tell you anything, no response at all. So, I'm curious about that.
I'll answer it. I actually answered your question twice in person with you sitting right here.
Never answered, you didn't
Yes,
say
you did.
anything.
You asked, what did I have to do to be considered for the thing? I said, okay, this is what you gotta do. I told you twice. The other thing I told you in November, we already had the people for the committee, so you would be looking at being a member when one of those other people, when their term was up or something like that. But I encourage you to let me know, send me an email, and fill out an application, submit it to the town board with environmental committee on it. And when a position opened up, you would be contacted.
All right, you said you had a person that was looking to step down, so I sent you the email, and when I stood
I never said
here,
the person was looking to step down. I
Yeah,
said when somebody
you
does,
did.
or a vacancy opens up, you would be contacted.
you said someone was
This-
thinking of stepping down, and when I was here last month, I stood at the corner and you said, I don't even remember what your email was about, and I said, I'll send it to you first thing in the
You
morning.
couldn't- So the other thing.
And that's
is-
what I
and
did.
And I did get your email, and I don't get a chance to respond to everybody's email.
Well,
But since I answered your question twice, and you stood right in front of me, and you didn't even ask me that question, you said, well, I'll just send you another email.
that's right. I
already
wanted a
answered that
response,
question
I wanted
twice
a
to you
response in the
person.
email.
I told you that the committee was full, and it
Mr.
was
Utter,
it. We've discussed it.
Have you ever gone more than a week without a board member responding to an email that you have sent? Has anyone in here sent an email and not gotten a response?
Yeah.
And how it goes.
Thank you.
All right. Reports, Robbie. You're good?
Just fighting the weather, that's all.
With salt, there's all this talk about. Oh, for real? What will we need to do if we need to order more salt?
Can't do nothing, there's no way to bring it to you, you just plow and put sand down and Drive on
God
snow
bless
like
you
we
guys.
used to.
There's no salt around.
Yeah, that's what I was asking about.
They're not
I heard it's, like,
making it?
impossible to get.
No,
it.
they
just can't get it
they-
everywhere, there's people that
Yeah.
have none, so
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
considered
there's
lucky because I
municipalities.
have.
I mean, we can't order it now and they'll get it when they get it?
I ordered it a month ago.
So do we, do you have,
It's,
do you have
uh,
plenty of sand?
Yeah, we can get sand, more sand.
Gotta do it, yeah, work with what you got. Well, thank you for putting the order in a month ago.
Maybe you get it about now.
Yeah, it's
Any luck,
crazy
they
right
said
now.
next week of it.
Oh, that'd be a relief.
I'll believe it when it comes in.
I know you guys have been working so
And where,
hard.
where they gonna bring it from, American or Cargill?
Yeah.
Next one we'll talk about.
God bless you guys out there in the middle and first thing in
Get
the
a new
morning.
one.
Greatest thing ever.
So, alright, thank you. I'll go next. Any board member, especially the new ones, if you need a laptop, or if you have, Kara, I don't know how yours is.
Mine's still fine.
Okay, so we'll get those for Dan. You need one and
Yeah,
Kara,
I
you
was
need one.
definitely
Okay.
gonna ask for one, I was hoping he wouldn't send it an email to me, because mine's not shut off.
Okay, so we'll contact Computer Emergency for that. The appointments, here, would you pass these to those two? Bob and I sat today and we went through the list and you can see that the list is much smaller than it used to be. And so what we did is we kind of combined some of them. Deputy Supervisor, Dan, you and I had talked about that. Kara was willing to graciously give it up. She's done it for a while. And so Deputy Supervisor will be Dan Naparella. He's also be Public Safety, Fire, and Ambulance. And really flood, we took away flood because flood is all about public safety. Craig, I gave you Highway because Robbie's very easy to work with, and as a new board member, I thought I'd ease you into
I've
the
got highway experience.
Yeah, Highway and mobile homes. Kara, I kept you on personnel, and then Peggy's, was the last part on Parks and Recreation. Art, you've got 3 there, planning and zoning, energy, and then the new environmental one. And the environmental one, really, I thought the way that you've worded it, really would also be the, an eye on the junkyards and things like that. So instead of listing all these individual ones, I just thought that was the way to go, so.
Okay.
So we'll put those on the website for anybody to do. And then, baseball contacted me, they're going to sign 8 of the key policies and pay for 8 keys. And so we will have give 8 people, they'll have to have their own individual code, but that'll take Krista Munley and I off of opening and closing the concession stand in the park every night that we did last year. So that's
Did they give a parade date yet?
no, I think they meet tomorrow, but I'm taking the key policies to them,
Perfect.
and that's all I have. Kara?
I don't have anything.
Do I have anything? That leaves me?
Yeah.
Ted Main Fire Department reached out to me, they wanna have a private meeting with the town board and their board, they wanna talk about combining districts for more commissioner prospects. The way I understand it now, if they appoint another commissioner, he's gotta actually live within the hamlet, where the paperwork is. They wanna meet with us, I'll kinda off the cuff, like a work session meeting, to try to straighten out their issues with that.
This is Main Fire?
Main Fire, yeah.
Okay, so that would be
Yeah, we have to do that.
That would be
that would have to be a public meeting, I don't see any grounds to do that.
So,
That's fine.
I would invite them to our next,
Invite them to our next meeting.
yep, have them come to,
Luke Brady's the assistant chief who contacted me.
see if that works for them. If not, we'd have to schedule an extra board meeting.
Did they
Anything
tell you
else?
what districts they're trying to combine?
I don't have the numbers, but there are definitely 3 or 4 they wanna change, just change the lines.
So it's just basically a redistricting is what they're looking at.
Redistricting, yes, yes.
Probably
Membership
not
was
no
low
member-
when
Yeah, I was gonna say no members.
Make the best out of what they
Yeah.
got,
Yeah.
Get in for that. Last month Art brought something up, and there's been a Facebook posting on it. I'd like people to think about this for a little bit. There's, January 3rd, 2020, we had a fire at the Taylor Garbage Plant in Appalachian.
Mhm.
That fire was started by lithium-ion batteries in a storage area to be sent out through recyclables. The fire went on for over 5 days. They had surveillance cameras within the building that actually watched it start. I'd love to see that footage. March 2018, there was an explosion in New York City with lithium-ion batteries at another facility. They fought it 2 days with foam. That didn't go. These recycling plants use harsh chemicals and quite a bit of heat. They're toxic byproducts and large amounts of energy to run this. 2021, the EPA reported 245 fires at 64 different waste facilities. That's 245 fires at 64 different facilities. All caused by lithium-ion batteries. 22, there was 390 fires, United States and Canada combined. The National Waste and Recycle Association, didn't even know it existed, says over 5,000 fires annually global, all of lithium-ion battery plants. We don't have local fire departments that can handle that. We just don't. You can cool the fire by water. The fire is toxic, it's smoke, PCBs in the air, PCBs in the water runoff. There's been a lot of communities that really had havoc wreaked on over simple facilities that are supposed to be so safe for everybody, like Frederickstown, Missouri, for example. I'd like to ask for a moratorium on battery recycle, battery manufacture, and battery storage facilities in the town.
So right now, we do have a moratorium on battery energy storage facilities. Now, that's specific to to basically, they're there to augment the solar, because solar's not steady, it fluctuates, and it's there to store the excess power that's not being sent out into the grid. So are you looking for something different than that when you say storage, like warehousing of lithium batteries?
Transfer stations for recycling type of thing.
Okay.
They're known to have combustible issues. That Frederickstown, Missouri was supposed to be the latest and greatest state-of-the-art thing. The rivers all next to it have dead floating fish in them. There's people with respiratory problems throughout the entire community. They burn for days.
Right.
Unless somebody can come up with an idea, something, like I said, we're not capable of housing such a facility. I don't think it fits with our comprehensive plan, and we don't have what it takes to, on the safety end of it.
Right, we don't have municipal water. So-
Right.
So are you talking about a battery recycling facility?
Battery recycling and battery manufacturing, both.
Because a lot of, they could combine both of those industries within one building. Recycle on one end, manufacture on the other. Now, is that something, I mean, that's not anywhere in our comprehensive plan, because when we did that, that wasn't even a consideration.
Yeah.
But that's something the environmental committee could take up and make a formal recommendation, and look into that. Or it's something that we could do a motion now for a moratorium on those things, just to prevent something like that coming into the town.
Moratorium has to be done by local law with a public hearing, so.
Maybe we start with your committee and then you guys can make a recommendation to the board on whether or not you think we should move forward with the moratorium.
Might as well jump in with both feet.
So
Yeah.
you're gonna tackle all three, the battery manufacturing, battery storage, and battery recycling?
I think that'd be good, yeah, I mean, just group them all together.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's similar technology,
Right.
similar means of protection as far as, alarm notification, suppression, and separation. The biggest thing with lithium batteries, especially in the storage facilities, you can't have The NFP 855, which is a national standard, for the construction and, maintenance of battery energy storage facilities, has specific guidelines of how far apart you have to keep the towers of the lithium batteries, the spacing on it. And that's to prevent, thermal, if something goes into what they call thermal overload, it doesn't have a cascade effect. It can be theoretically, contained in that one area. The problem is, when I talked to one of the gentlemen that was one of the co-authors of that standard, he said that standard was done several years ago, and that the technology has far surpassed what that standard was designed to protect. And that's all, and that's also gonna go into the manufacturing of it. I saw a video here at work, it was sent to me, by a fireman. It actually showed, in a battery manufacturing facility, batteries just waiting to be shipped. All of a sudden, in the middle of this pallet, smoke coming out of it. And then you just saw it go. And actually, this was over, this was a little while ago. It was actually over in South Korea. And I
Is that the
believe,
explosion that killed 25 people?
I believe that was it. And that was started by batteries just literally sitting there doing nothing.
Taylor was started with solar batteries.
Well, I believe it.
Now,
Yeah,
the
'cause-
garbage, obviously the garbage didn't how, the fire went for 5 or 7 days.
right.
For a long time.
In the difficulty in protecting these types of batteries is that it is absolutely totally random when something goes into thermal overload. It doesn't, NFPA does large scale fire testing of these types of facilities, batteries and everything like that. And the gentleman told me, he said, you can do 100 tests, everything was perfectly fine. Run 101 and the thing goes into thermal runaway for no reason at all. And they don't know. I mean, it's a very volatile, even the manufacturing of them. And the other thing too is I don't believe it's fair to just deal with straight lithium batteries. Lithium batteries have to be a part of it. There's also an environmental concern for lead acid batteries,
Absolutely.
gel
Have the
cell
committee-
batteries.
have
and
that committee take,
Yeah,
Yeah.
make the check.
yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Anything else, Greg?
My third thing was the computer, you already got it.
Okay.
So-
Dan,
I don't really have anything tonight.
okay. Dan, you're gonna have to get together for check signing to get your name at NDT Bank. Art?
Okay, right now, the March 4th BMTS, meeting has been canceled. I'm just waiting for a rescheduled date on that. Before I forget, the February gas report. There has been no change since last month, so we're at 58 requests for service, 35 services installed, and 30 meters turned on, and that is accurate as of 2/10/25 for that. And picking up on what Craig said, I'd like to schedule a public hearing on the moratorium for batteries energy storage facilities. Can we set that up for next month? Have a public hearing on that, or is that gonna be too soon? Or should we let the environmental committee?
Let the
work through
environmental
that
committee take a look at it
and then
first and then.
come back with that?
Yeah, come
Okay.
back with that.
Okay. Also, it's been some time, back when Ernie Palmer was deputy supervisor, that we sent, Ernie sent a letter to the school district on behalf of the town requesting water testing for, from the school for the, solar panels that were installed over there. We haven't heard anything on that at all. And I'm wondering if it's time for our attorney to send a letter requesting that on behalf of the
Did he
town.
actually send a letter?
Ernie told me he sent the letter. I don't have a copy of it though.
I don't think the letter was ever received, cause I asked about it, but they said that they never, but that was a while ago.
that was, yeah, that was two,
Two or 3 years ago it was.
It's been 2 years ago. Right, so, so what I'll do is I'll reach out to Ernie and see what was done on that. Ernie told me he did send it. I don't know how it was sent, whether it was, I would assume it was return receipt requested, but I don't wanna guarantee that. But I think that's something we need to look into, based on the manufactured date of those solar panels.
Once again, PCD.
Well, it's actually, PFAS. There was a chemical in solar panels manufactured prior to 2019 that it's a chemical that actually keeps the solar panel glass clean. So what happens is when rainwater hits it, snow, whatever, tiny little bits of that come out and seep into the ground. And it's been known to the DEC that there are 2 wells, municipal wells close to this area that have been contaminated by, and they have traced the contamination to solar fields. So I wanna make sure that the kids going to the school and our residents down here in the hamlet aren't having any issues with their water. And that's why I really wanna get moving on that since some time has elapsed. So I'll reach out to Ernie and see what he did, with the letter, or if he had any response to it. I don't believe he has. But we'll take a look at that. And
But whatever was said 2 years ago, it's definitely time to dodge each other, you know, I mean.
yeah, I mean, but if,
Years.
yeah, I mean, I think whether, if they didn't receive it or anything like that, I still think it's something, you know, doing our due diligence as board members, that we have the authority really to ask them for that, because it's also the water that we're drinking down here in town hall, the clerk's office, the restaurant, the ambulance, everything like that. If there is an issue, if everything comes back clean, we're good. Then we put it to rest, because I know several residents who live down here in the hamlet have approached me about it and said that they're concerned about their water because of the solar panels. I said, we'll look into it, and that's where we left it a couple years ago. And one other thing,
Well,
there's,
so just to tie that up, are you asking me to do anything or no?
I would like you to send a letter requesting the water testing, water sample testing, of the school district, and some of the, you know, these are municipal buildings. I don't know if we can test in there or just deal with it with the school. I don't know what's the proper way to go about that.
Wouldn't it be like at the meeting that I attended at the board
residents' water that's
meeting,
closest?
they wanted a specific list of things to test for,
Right.
and that's, I don't think,
There's a short test
They
which
ever
tests
got-
they test for 3 or 4 specific PFAS, and there's the enhanced test that tests up to, I believe, 22. The kicker is there's over 2,000 PFAS registered as those types of chemicals used at some point in time in any type of manufacturing process. So they're not gonna be able to test for all of them, but we would want to be looking at testing for specific ones that are used in the manufacture of solar panels. So that may take a little research.
Yeah, I mean, I can draft a letter, but I need to know what I'm asking for, right? So
Okay.
I don't know what kind of testing is required, so we may wanna connect with an engineering firm who can tell us what type of testing would you do if you wanted to make sure that solar
Are we
panels
paying
weren't
for the
contaminating
testing?
water.
are we asking that they do it?
They should.
Well, I think they should do it since it's their solar field. Myself, what I'll do is I'll
We
reach
just
out to Chris
gotta- we gotta
Fasson,
walk lightly then,
and-
we're
and
asking them to.
see where he directs me, who he recommends and stuff like that. And I'll take it
We can't
to
do it.
there, and then I'll come back at the next board meeting and make a report.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah, and then we'll prepare a letter after that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'll work. Okay.
Alright,
And that's it.
alright. Then I'll make the motion, no, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Are you having a
All in favor?
workshop meeting on the 3rd?
No. We're not, there's nothing,
No,
there's,
no.
yeah.
I don't think we had to, I don't.
I don't think we did any of it.
Okay. Do you need a roll call on that?
Just all in favor?
Okay, aye.
Aye. So.
This
So we adjourned?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a long one.
Big stone castle looking building in the